Ladies and gentlemen, hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Inlay, and if you don't know, this is my third attempt at making this video. After numerous storage problems with my iPads, I've decided to try and switch to my computer for filming. And this has negated one of the problems that I usually have, which is how I have my iPad facing at things. If you don't know, I record with my larger iPad, and if need be, I have my iPad mini display images. Well, the iPad mini belongs to my brother, but regardless, this is a way better setup because I have my computer hooked up to my monitor. So I do not need to have the computer pointed in a strange direction for me to be able to see what's going on the screen. I can just look at what's going on my monitor. So going forward, videos should have a much more comfortable feeling camera angle, at least for me. And, videos should be a lot easier to produce. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I am currently going through a bit of a toe cramp. I will try to keep my cool as much as possible. Because I'm already pretty annoyed, I have had to do 3 separate takes, all of which were really good and have been ruined by storage issues. Just, weird Apple stuff that, shady practices and whatnot, attempts to get me to buy extended storage, which I'm not going to do. I already did it once. That's all I need. I'm not going to keep doing it because I'm not going to keep giving Apple more money than they need from me. Because I've already given them a lot. So, we're going to be talking about a mobile armor that, I just really like, and also is pretty fantastical. Well, not fantastical, but like, relatively speaking, more fantastical than the Neo Zeon. And we all know that it's kind of reality breaking, can travel through time, actualize the thoughts of its pilot. So, Neo Zeon's already kind of, fantastical. But then there's this thing, the Inlay, the RX-124 TR-6 Inle. I usually refer to it as a Gundam, so I'm going to call it the Inlay Gundam. Because, a beast like this deserves the title of Gundam, because it's only fair. The Inlay Gundam is a bit more fantastical than the Neo Zeon, at least to me, due to the fact that it was made almost a decade before the Neo Zeon. And it, in a lot of ways, outclasses the Neo Zeon, at least to me. The Neo Zeon, it has those Psycho Gundam fingers, but that's the most of what it has. Meanwhile, the Inlay has not only beam weaponry, but it also has conventional weaponry. It has the, of course, large beam cannon, which is held by the Hazenfly that is piloting it. There are missiles in this mouth part that that I will show you a little bit later, and missiles in the skirts. It has claws hidden in its hip joints, and of course there is a beam cannon hidden in the aforementioned mouth part. There are a couple of storage containers. Well, there are like storage containers. I don't know how many in particular, but I know that there is a TR-1 Hazanfle hidden in one of the storage containers. So, yeah. So, combined with the 6 TR-2s, the Inlay has 6 mobile suits on board, all of which can be controlled remotely from the TR-6 Hazenfly, if I remember correctly. This is the landing. This is the landing version slash cruiser slash cruising form slash space travel type slash high mobility type. I hear those phrases when it comes to this machine thrown around a fair bit, but I'm gonna refer to it as the cruising form because that is the that's the version that I know. So then there is the blue version. Nothing's really different besides the color. Here's a picture of it when it's not on on the page of a manga. Well, graphic design. Well, whatever this book is. Yeah, here's it on its own in its original illustration. There's a 3D model that was created. The image isn't all too high fidelity. My apologies. It is on my iPad, but for some reason the computer is having a bit of trouble getting the quality of this image down correctly. Yeah, for some reason it's just not all too agreeing with me. Try to up the brightness, but yeah. So the Inlay has just the sheer massiveness. The Inlay, which is all the way inside of it, like, right here, that is the Inlay. That I'm pretty sure is 30 to 40 meters, which I'm pretty sure is over 60 feet tall. Pretty sure 90 feet actually. If I remember correctly, because I did do some measuring and compared the size of it to the size of the original Gundam and other mobile suits that were in and around that size, and the cannon size according to well, the high grade, if I remember correctly, should be 30 to 40 meters. The exact size is not listed for one reason or another. Yeah, so that's the size of the Inlay. Then it's inside all of that. Damn it. Then there is, of course, the full image. Some madman created this in 1/44th scale, which is insane. Once Bandai does it, I'm gonna try to pick it up as soon as possible because it's the Inlay. But I know that that's probably going to cost thousands, if not millions. So yeah, there's some people next. Well, not some people next to it. Can you believe this? Out of all of the displays here, you have this giant, majestic, almost god or goddess-like mobile armor here that took what was most likely years to create, and just has so much craftsmanship and just angelicness to it, and people are checking out all of the stuff around it, everything except for the Inlay. People, there was like a pink Destiny Gundam, well, not Destiny Gundam, I'm pretty sure it was a pink Destiny Gundam that everyone was gathered around instead of this just beautiful mobile armor, which just goes to show how good Bandai is at just getting Advance of Zeta to be away from the limelight, just because you might be asking me, Heisenflay, how is this Bandai's fault? Well, you see, Bandai and Sunrise and Namco just their complete and total lack of attention and love towards Advance of Zeta just kind of in and of itself turns people against Advance of Zeta. And of course, the quality of the kits mixed with the price and the fact that they're Pete Bandai does not help at all. So those combined just, basically kind of, make it so that, people just don't like AOZ as a whole. Because, why would they want to, spend time on something that they just can't even go near, because anything that is about Advance of Zeta is basically impossible to find, and if you can find it, it's too expensive. So, yeah, Bandai's done a pretty good job of trying to erase AOZ from the franchise, which I know that's what they want to do, but I'm not gonna let them do that. So, of course, subscribe, like. I can't believe I just asked you to do that. I literally said in an earlier video that I would try to refrain from that. Yeah, I do want to gain a boost in popularity and viewership, so that I can achieve my goals, which include stopping Bandai and their erasure of Advance of Zeta from Gundam. That is their end goal, and I will not let them have that. I would rather die and see everything I loved before me destroyed than allow Bandai to go through with that kind of plan. Because they already stole the design for the Lindworm Gundam from a fan-made design. I know that they'd have no qualms with trying to erase, Fujioka Kenki's hard work, and everyone else who worked on AOZ, erase all of their hard work because they just didn't like it. They didn't want it to be a part of the Gundam franchise. Which, before you go and defend Bandai saying, they wouldn't do that, that's childish. They are that childish. The literal only reason that they do not produce AOZ kits and Sentinel kits is because they don't want to. There is no other reason. Yes, the author of Gundam Sentinel basically took Gundam Sentinel hostage, but that doesn't mean that. But that only means that they can't animate Sentinel, not that they can't make any kits. And they've made plenty of kits. They just refuse to make kits of the mobile suits that we've been asking for, like the Zeku's Y, and what's it called? The Narrows. Yeah, the Narrows. Yeah, and of course, the Zeta Plus Hummingbirds. The cost signatures do not suffice because those are incredibly hard to find, and they are incredibly expensive. Once again, part of Bandai's whole, erasure thing. That's their erasure plan. If they don't like a series and don't want it to be a part of the Gundam universe, the franchise, they don't want to make any more kits of it. They don't want people knowing about it. They don't want people to like it. They, just make all the kits P Bandai, they don't talk about it. They just make everything hard to find, hard to get a hold of, extremely expensive, and whatnot. So casuals can't enjoy this stuff. It's only the hardcore of the hardcore who can. And as we all know, the hardcore of the hardcore do not make up the entire demographic of a fan base. It is mostly casuals. Therefore, for one, I do not support the filthy casual mindset, because that's just rude. How dare you be new to this series you just found out about? It's stupid. It's just Bandai makes it very hard to access. That's part of their erasure plan. Lack of accessibility and lack of just depriving it of accessibility and attention and whatnot. And that's why there's no AOZ anime. As far as I know, there's no reason that Bandai and Namco and Sunrise don't make an AOZ anime, or at the least an OVA, but they just don't. They just don't like AOZ for one reason or another. Don't know if Fujioka Kenki himself did something to some of the guys at Bamco and Sunrise. But there really is, at least as far as I know, no good reason for them to be doing what they're doing. So yeah, here's some of the this guy's prototypes of the Inlay. Here is a painted version of the 1/400th kit, which I'm pretty sure 1/400th scale officially is known as speed grade. So this is the speed grade. So this is the speed grade Inlay. This is the Mobile Suit Ensemble. Oh yeah, Mobile Suit Ensemble is also a part of their plan. They know that no one cares about Mobile Suit Ensemble except for, once again, the hardcore of the hardcore, the veterans of the veterans. And once again, those guys do not make up a large enough part of the demographic of the fan base. Like, soon, if nothing is done, AOZ will be forgotten, and so will all the other series that Bandai plans on doing the same with, and people's only knowledge of Gundam will be Seed and Unicorn and maybe Double O. Because Bandai is kind of slowly starting to do this with a bunch of other series. Because they've been doing this with the smaller parts of the Zeta era for a while, but now they're just kind of encompassing all of the Zeta era. And my prediction is that the Master Grade Zeta Verka will be the last Zeta Gundam kit ever. After that, they will stop. And they will not listen to us, no matter how many times we plead for them to make more. And that's their plan so far. They're going to keep going with that. They don't listen to us. And that's why I say, buy from their competitors. Buy bootlegs. Do not support Bandai financially. Speak the language they understand, which is financial. If we stop giving them money, they listen to us because we now hold leverage over them. Like, that may be playing dirty, but they're playing dirty as well. So, it's just fighting fire with fire at this point. Yeah, so that's one of the mobile armor forms. This is, this is, the version of the head that I'm pretty sure I previously mentioned. It has those missile teeth and the beam cannon inside. There's a top-down view of the Inlay. There's a side view. There's a view of the back. There's a view of some of the skirting armor and those little hip claws. There's the key R2s in their proper color. There's the bottom half of the Inlay, which is the Dandelion 2. There's a top half, which is the Fiver 2. Then there is what is, I'm guessing, a little CAD sketch or a 3D model that I pulled from a Japanese site. I do not own any of these images, so yeah. Just heads up, I do not own any of these images, but at the same time, I don't think any of you would think that I do not know the first thing about modeling, so I would never be able to. I want to get into modeling because I have some OCs that I need to that I need to model, because until now I've just been using other people's art, and just been altering it to look like my OCs. Granted, most of the time I ask permission, but sometimes I just find this stuff on Danboru and and other sites, and the artist just is not listed, so I can't ask for permission nor give credit, which, granted, that means I shouldn't take the image, and you're right, I shouldn't. There is no but to it. I just shouldn't. So of course, once I have all of my characters modeled, of course, of course I'll delete the images that I have basically stolen. Like, of course, past me, little child me when I first got those images wasn't aware of the just illegal nature of what I was doing. But now I do, and there's no excuse. Like, these photos, I, I no longer pass them off as mine, which is something I used to do, which was very scummy of me. Um, and I apologize. I do not pass them off as mine anymore. I do not show them to people anymore. Now they are just references. They are references because I have been drawing these characters and my drawing skills are garbage. But, because it's a Side Zero thing, I can't exactly show you any of them. But, of course, as soon as I have everything down and all of these characters are molded and sculpted fully accurate to what I want to what I envision for them, I will, of course, delete all of these stolen images off of my iPad, and of course, never again, do that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm going off on a lot of tangents. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I have a tendency to do that sort of thing. But, then there is more of these 3D images that give you a better understanding of the inner workings of the inlay. So now onto the dissection part of this video, where I basically just look at all these different parts of the inlay. There are the missile teeth with the beam cannon inside, all of the sensors and mechanical bits. The teeth are hatches. I'm pretty sure there are 81 missiles in total because there are 9 missiles and there are 8 teeth. So I'm pretty sure 9 times 8 is 81. Yeah. Then there's the kind of back of this part sort of separated from the rest of the inlay. Beautiful mechanical detail. Just amazing. Just really amazing. There is this missile tooth version, which I usually call the dragon head version, so therefore dragon head Inlay Gundam, actually has a more ornate V-fin that is similar to what is seen on the Rezeon version of the Inlay. So here's another version, but this time with orange missiles. There is all of the missiles without the hatches. I'll leave this on screen for a bit longer so that, you can pause, count all of them if you want to yourself. And, if I am wrong about how many missiles there are, please correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I counted 81. Of course, if, you don't correctly, which it isn't your responsibility, you don't need to. I'm just being lazy. I'll just pull out the calculator and, just find it myself if no one really wants to, which rightfully so. No skin off my back, really. Then there's the open mouth, pretty cool. I like it. There's it from the front. It almost kind of looks like a mixture of the head of the Hazenflay, the head of a dragon, the head of the Gundam Mark V, and like a little bit of Evangelion to it from this angle at least, because there are like 2 eye sensors, a forehead sensor, very sharp chin with those Evangelion like teeth. If those teeth were red, they'd be even more Evangelion-like, Oh yeah, there's a little sensor back there behind that, chin V-fin. So it has a V-fin beard. Just like, no, I guess more of a V-fin goatee. Actually, the Turne has the V-fin goatee. This guy just straight up has, Turne has the V-fin mustache. This is a V-fin beard and or goatee. I'm stupid. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. There is a little Reheisen in the pilot seat now. You can see a lot of just mechanical detail and whatnot. Here is a side view, giving you a good look at all of these like little inner workings and whatnot that you don't usually get to see in the sketches. There is what is essentially the spine of the Inlay Gundam, and a lot of parts kind of represent parts and just areas that are a lot of it's just reminiscent of certain areas of the Woundwarts and the Hazenflay's construction. For example, these this like little spine piece and these fins right here kind of resemble the crane arm bit of the Woundwarts composite shield booster when it enters crow mode / winch mode. This ball right here, I'm pretty sure from what I remember, this is a part of Woundwardian construction. Actually, Woundwardian's a Side Zero phrase, I guess you could say. This is that part is reminiscent of the Woundwart's tail, I think. Then this is just reminiscent of like the inner frame of like the crotch and waist area of the Woundwart, with its own like version of the ultra compact Minovsky fusion reactor. I think it actually had its own designation that was like slightly different from the usual one, which was ultra compact slim Minovsky fusion particle reactor or something like that. I'm pretty sure slim was in there somewhere because it is definitely a lot slimmer than the ones that are present in the usual mobile suits. Yeah, so this is in general just a very cool design. I love this spinal piece. That ball in the center is really cool. The little red joints around it are really cool. There is, a little strip of just mechanics in there, little like mechanical bits and whatnot. Just wires and hoses and panels and covers and whatnot. Just like mechanical heaven, basically. Really like it. And there's that part, which I'm pretty sure this ball is either a generator, some sort of propulsion, or both, like the Woundwart's tail. Well, the Woundwart's tail isn't both; it's propulsion. But I say propulsion because of those 4 nozzles. There are, well, of course, as you can see, 4 nozzles. The 4th one, of course, is obscured, but they're laid out in an X pattern. And I don't think they are coolant dispensers, which is the case for the Woundwart's tail. The Woundwart's tail has coolant dispensers on the nose for atmospheric reentry. Meanwhile, this I don't think that's the case because this is facing backwards. So unless the Inlay just moonwalks to Earth, I don't think this is a coolant dispenser. I don't think that would be a good place to put a coolant dispenser. So I'm pretty sure this is propulsion of some sort. If not, those are sensors of some sort, or this is like some kind of generator, and that's why this like radiator part is here. Then there is just some hip joint-esque mechanisms going on. There's a little peek inside of that little generator piece. Well, the main generator piece, not the ball generator. There's, it was like the cap on and whatnot. Then there's like the top of the Hazenflay skirting armor, which, not the Hazenflay skirting armor. There's the top of the skirt, which is reminiscent of the Hazenflay skirting armor. And, the Hazenflay skirting armor and legs, I kind of don't like. It's the only part of the design which I am against, simply due to the fact that it just kind of looks, very strange to me. I wish there was a more pronounced knee, and that poofy, very bound-dock, gabflay-like skirting armor was replaced with something a bit more similar to, like, I don't know, the Goplant or the Hazel, or, just no skirting armor like the Woundwart and, the Barzan, which because, the Goplant Hirairu is, of course, equivalent to the normal Titan's Goplant. The TR-3 Kiar is equivalent to the Ashimar. Hazensley is equivalent to the Gabflay. Hazel's equivalent to the Mark II and the Jim Quell and whatnot. Bizak's equivalent to Hyzak. Rosette's equivalent to Marasai. And whatnot. And of course, Dandelion or Dandelion is equivalent to the actual Boundock. The Woundwort itself, but like the TR-6 Woundwort in its base form, didn't really have much of an equivalent. So I kind of thought, hey, that might just be the Barzam. For a second, I was kind of like, no, maybe the Masala. But then, I kind of thought about it again, and I was like, yeah, the Barzam is the Woundwort's equivalent, because they kind of have a similar thing going on. No side skirts, but, incredibly thick thigh armor that, basically does the job of skirting armor. Peculiar leg design with leg thrusters that are located in a unusual area. A very funnily placed crotch mechanism, like a beam cannon in the case of the Barzam, and in the case of the Woundwort, which is a subarm. Very mature of me to point that out in such a manner. And then there is also, of course, the very strange arm design, the short torso, and the pointy forehead with a fin that is also very unusual. Now, of course, the Barzam has a monoeye, while the Woundwort doesn't, and of course, the Barzam, design-wise, is also, in a lot of other ways, extremely different from the Woundwort. But I kind of thought that, visually, they did share some similarities, and they also kind of shared a weapon-ish, because I'm pretty sure the Barzam's beam rifle is also multi-purpose and serves as a shield and has a variable output, therefore can generate a beam blade. So, yeah. So, anyways, back to the Inlay. Yeah, I wish, so the Inlay, this is the kind of top of the skirting armor with a bunch of mechanical detail, thrusters and vents, and whatnot. Some opening fins. This is like underneath this piece. It has a sensor in the front and in the back, a bunch of mechanical moving parts, connection to the skirting armor. And there's a skirting armor itself, which has this this thruster right here, and these are the missiles. There are 7 hatches. I'm assuming each of which have have 9 missiles. I don't know what's 7 times 9 is something, 7 times 9 is 72. So I believe that these are 72 missiles. And according to SD Gundam G Generation Genesis, these missiles are extremely powerful. They are nuclear. The Inlay has over 100 of these missiles, if I am counting correctly, and they are incredibly powerful and apparently are nuclear warheads. So, yeah, it has a devastating amount of firepower, so you can see how, it could, take out the Neo Zeong realistically, even though according to Bandai, the Neo Zeong is faster than the speed of thoughts. Of course, Bandai stats are dumb. Because that's just what Bandai is, dumb. Because, I feel like they're going to mess up Armored Core 6 somehow. Add some kind of microtransaction or something, or some kind of incomplete season pass that basically butchers the point of a season pass. Just like you did with Soul Calibur. Yeah, I know that. I know what you did, Bandai. I know what you do. I know your pattern by now. You butcher everything. You gut basically every franchise you grab a hold of. Yeah, so, oh, wait, this is a different amount of missiles. So in the skirting armor, there, one second, there is something strange going on with my HDMI cord. There we go. Hooked right back up to my monitor. Yeah, so this is 5 missiles. So 7 times 5 is 70. Wait, no, wait, hold on, wait. Yeah, wait, that was 8 missiles. This is 7 missiles. Yeah, this. No, wait, this is 8 missiles. Yeah, this is 8 missiles. So the teeth had 9 missiles. This is 8 missiles. And there are 7 containers. Don't know what 7 times 8 is because my knowledge is kind of like math in general, just kind of gappy in certain areas. Like, I'll get to it eventually, but I don't think I have too much storage left because this video is already 30 minutes long. But you know how I like these long videos. I feel like these tangents can be, the tangents I go on can be at least somewhat entertaining because I feel like I do bring up some relevant points and, talk about topics that are, relevant to the channel and interesting to some of you. And there's the top of the gun, which has a sensor, and I'm assuming there's an eye field generator in there somewhere, because if there wasn't, then that'd just be a massive target. And because it's, a gun, it would definitely have a very large explosion. Then there are the claws, 2 of which are removed so that you can see the little inside of this thingy. I'm pretty sure that this little mechanism right here is a beam cannon of some sort, either that or a generator, or just a thruster of some sort, maybe. Anyways, it's something. Maybe just the joint that the claws swivel on. But it's something. It serves some purpose. It's located there for a reason. The claws themselves can, of course, pull out and grab. There's, look at the inner working mechanisms. There's a look at the hip joints. I guess what you could consider the knee joints as well. There are the claws. Of course, the tips of them painted red, as per usual in the TR style. There's the top of the leg with that little kind of like shield guard bit kind of guarding the joint. And the, the peg leg bit, and there's the back of it, little red bits here and there, which is something I really love about Advanced Zeta. Even though my favorite color isn't exactly red anymore, I still like red a lot. It's still a very appealing color to me. So these little red bits sprinkled throughout pretty much all of the Advanced Zeta designs are really appreciated. So, to Mr. Fujioka, thank you. Then there's, most of the leg. And funnily enough, similarly to... Oh, well, here's a undetailed version. Funnily enough, here's the back again. Keep starting my sentence too early. Here's the leg and the gun. Lots of detail. Now, funnily enough, similar to the Hazenflay, the Inlay has a sort of foot. Sort-of-ish foot. Because the Hazenflay has more of a foot than the Inlay. But they're both, in this... But, just like the Hazenflay, this is a very small and basically useless foot. At least useless under gravity. Like, in space it's good for, like, pushing off of stuff and, delivering kicks and whatnot, but the Inlay isn't going to be delivering kicks. It'll probably be pushing off of stuff, but, not delivering any kicks anytime soon. Yeah, I call it a foot because there is a joint here. Granted, that means this foot can only move down, but I assume that there is also a joint in here too if this is indeed a foot. So I'm going to go with it. This is a foot to me. It is a foot. The Inlay has a foot. You can't stop me. What do you mean it's landing gear? Shut up. It's not landing gear. It's a foot. There's a sensor in the ankle, because that is a foot. Nothing you say can stop me from believing that is indeed a foot. Then there is the claws actually, separated and, in grabby mode. Then there is just a ship carrying 3 inlays. Something tells me that that ship's not going down anytime soon. Then there's some more looks at the Inlay's kind of top skirting armor. There are some fins that open up, and that's the end of the list. Now, I really like the Inlay. The Inlay is a very cool mobile armor. It is a, very nice design. I consider it very godlike or goddess-like, very angelic. It reminds me of the Guardians from Halo 5. Some of the Forerunner technology from the 343 era, and maybe the Bungie era. In general, it just kind of reminds me of the Forerunner technology, which is why, which one of the reasons why in Side Zero, the Woundwarts are the most advanced species to ever exist. Simply because, a lot of just the stuff within Advanced Zeta reminds me of incredibly advanced technology that is almost magic with how advanced it is. So, verdict, the RX-124 TR-6 Inlay Gundam is one of, if not the best mobile armors in all of Gundam, and I will be darned if I let Bandai erase it. Help me. Don't even have to subscribe or like. Just I don't know. Get this video circulating around place to place. Maybe just share the message that I have given through other comments and whatnot. And just talk about Advanced Zeta more, because like, we can't let Bandai get away with trying to erase something so amazing and beautiful. Advanced Zeta is a beautiful story. At least to me. Gundam Inlay is a beautiful story. Advanced Zeta is a beautiful story. All versions of Advanced Zeta to me are beautiful. Whether it be the reboot Gundam Inlay, Flag of the Titans, Mace of Judgment, or Blue Wings of the Aeug. It's just amazing to me. I love it. Advanced Zeta is just one of my favorite things. I really like it, and I hold it near and dear to my heart. And if Bandai were to get their way and erase it, I would cry. I would do more than cry, I guess. I'd just be so upset. I love this series a lot, and, I'm worried for it. I wasn't even, I didn't get to read it when it first came out, but, when I did read it, when I saw the mobile suits too, I fell in love with it. I just love it, Bandai and Sunrise and Namco should really get on top of just making this series, very known. Just like, get together with Dengeki once again, and get an English dub of the manga going, and start reprinting, the graphic not the graphic design, the graphic novel with all the designs in it, because I know that there's like the manga that's the story, and the novel with all the designs in it, like just the book of all the mobile suits. get together with Bandai, start doing that, start, producing more stuff about Advanced Data, get an anime or an OVA going that, at least about Flag of the Titans. At least if we got Flag of the Titans, that would be good. Because, like, you know, I'd like Flag of the Titans and I'd like Gundam Inlay. The stories that have the TRs. Because as far as I know, Mace of Judgment, Traitor to Destiny, and Blue Wings of the Aeug do not have any TRs and are a different side of AOZ. They got the Kestrel and whatnot. The Kestrel, pretty cool, but not the Wound Ward, Like, Ghoul Bursty, cool. But it's no Hazen play, Like, Nemo Defensor, it's alright, but it's no Nemo canon. Like those versions, which are, the AU side of AOZ, they're cool, but I just don't like them as much as, the TTT side, which is shocking because I really don't like the Titans. I've, said this before. I don't like the Titans to the point where I get extremely mad just speaking about them, and their actions and what they've done to people, not as mad as I'd get about speaking about Rekka Lalonde, but, I still get pretty upset when I talk about the Titans because they could have genuinely been, a shining light of hope within Gundam, but they ruined it, well, because Jamitov and Earth supremacy and whatnot. And before you go ahead and say, yes, I am one of those people who hates Rekka Lalonde. Rekka Lalonde apparently does have some fans, though. Apparently. Which is new to me. Like, I didn't know she had more than 0, but apparently she has 5. Which is awful. Like, she's a selfish wretch, basically, Like, she endangers the Argama, and basically assists in Katz's and Emma's deaths, all because people didn't idolize her like a goddess. They weren't treating the Argama like it was a dating site. Like, because she was looking for love aboard a warship during times of war. Like, that's not a good idea. And, like, then, after doing what she's done, she goes on and taunts Camille and Emma and Fa, and even after all of that, they're still worried about her. They still care about her. And she treats them like nothing. All because Quattro wouldn't take off his glasses. Like, she is so caught up in her own trauma and wanting to quote-unquote feel like a woman that she forgets that other people have their own trauma and other people are, well, people, Like, she's just a selfish person. And as someone who used to be pretty much just like her, I can't help but, hate her even more for not wanting to change and just flat out blaming men for everything that went wrong in her life while she died, Like, she's just, like, and, then some chronically online idiot just called me an incel for not liking her character, which, why? Like, her character is not an insult towards women, but I'd say it's like pretty not a good look for a woman to have, endangering people's lives because they wouldn't idolize you during a time of war when everyone's busy on trying to survive, and focus on what they need to focus on, Like, this person said I was entitled in an incel, which I'm pretty sure they don't know the definition of incel, because that entire time I never said a thing about women as a whole, about the way I would treat her, you know, about anything like that, I guess, and still, apparently I'm the incel, and I take offense to that because you know, when I was like, because like from age 13 to like from age like 12 to like 15, I believe, I was an incel, and because I just couldn't hold down a relationship because I was overly pushy and a bit creepy, and like I turned to the incel mindset. And of course, I worked hard to, get out of that whole, trap of just becoming an incel. Well, not really a trap, but like kind of worked hard to get out of that, kind of mindset, that sort of toxicity. Just to be called an incel again for not liking a character who is selfish and very morally bankrupt, just kind of generalizes an entire, like, archetype of people because of something she basically did to herself, it, you know, is really degrading to me. And I took offense. Probably shouldn't have even responded, but I just like I don't get how I'm an incel because I don't like Rekawa for the actions that she did, because almost no one liked this character. I'm pretty sure even Tomino himself admitted, yeah, this character, she's kind of poopy, you know? Like, yeah, like, she's a person with, who's deeply flawed, has, like, her own, set of, trauma. But, like, when you go around and hurt other people, and, of course, the nails in the coffin for me was her taunting of Camille and Fa after, I'm pretty sure shortly after assisting in Kata's death. And, of course, her, pretty open, blatant misandry was, the nails in the coffin for me, Like, she already hurt a lot of people with her defecting to the Titans. Like, because, like, the people in the Argama, while they didn't idolize her like some sort of goddess, they still cared about her. She was still their teammate and their family, Like, to Camille, Rekko was almost sort of a mother figure. And she betrayed him. She betrayed the entirety of the Argama, kills multiple of their own, and then goes on to mock some of the people who cared about her right after she spat in their face by killing, their friends, like, like, I have nothing good to say about Bask. Actually, no, I have plenty of good things to say about Bask and Jared and whatnot. I feel like I just put a target on my back by saying that. But from an objective standpoint, I do have some good things to say about those two, but I have nothing good to say about Rekawa. Nothing at all. Like, Bask, he had a pretty cool uniform, and I liked his goggles. He kind of looked a bit like Dr. Nefario and Dr. Eggman if they had an inbred son, but that's fine. Like, yeah, he's an evil dude, but like, he sounded pretty cool in the English dub, and he was pretty built looking, and like, yeah, he had like a quintuple chin, but he was still like pretty massive looking. Like, he looked like Dr. Nefario, but he was low key built like Groot. Like, dude was pretty big. Like, sorry, got a bit unprofessional there. Yeah, he was, fairly built. And Jared, as incompetent a foe as he was as soon as he met Camille, he was still very competent before Camille came along and, was the main character, which that alone reduced Jared's skill to, basically nothing. Uh, that sounds mean. I'm not saying that Camille won against Jared because he was the main character, but I'm saying that Camille being the main character kind of aided in Jared's destruction of skill. So, yeah, enough about Zeta Gundam. Back to Advance of Zeta. Yeah, the Inlay's cool. Final verdict: the Inlay as a design, as a mobile armor, as a concept, as a thing, as a mobile suit, as a Gundam, gets a 10 out of 10 in every category, in all 10 of my categories. Therefore, it's an 100 out of 100. So, yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I will try to upload 2 videos at the least, 2 videos a month at the least, maybe even 3. I don't have that much to do during the days, so my job that I have is very relaxed. My boss is very relaxed, so I have a lot of free time. I have a lot of free time, have a lot to do. Not have a lot to do, but I have very little to do. But I have a lot I want to do, and sometimes I'll procrastinate. But I'm getting over my procrastination problem slowly but surely. So maybe I might even be hitting you with 4 video with 4 videos a month at some point. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I am Heisenflay. Believe in the sign of the Zeta. Thank you and goodbye.